All right, people, we are on air. Views on sport. This is Under the Lens. And today we have a new guest. It's my brother, Sad. How are you doing, my bro?
Ah, come on, broski, man. We're here, bro. Finally, we got
Yeah,
it done, man. You know what I mean? We got
we're
it done.
here.
This one's been in the work for a bit, man.
Mm,
Been in the
mm.
works for a bit, man. Yeah, listen, man. I'm here, man. I'm good. I'm good. I'm doing all right. Do you know what I mean? As good as you can be in this climate, football wise.
Yeah, yeah,
But yeah, man. Listen, man. We're here to do a stream. We're here to do under the lens, bro. I've been
yeah.
gassed, man.
Yeah, man. I'm happy, man. I'm happy, and thank you so much, man. To get me, like, it's been stand up ever since you've reached out. So definitely appreciate your time. Big up BBK in the building. He said this is gonna be what fire sparks. Big yourself up each and every time. Make sure you're subbing to him. Mama Maybach music, man. Like E Ross in the building. What you telling me, bro? Hope you're good. He's saying big up views in the crew. The assembled, what's cooking, man? Well, under the lens, my guy, under the lens, and we've got Sards Football Corner in the building, and we are humbled. Big up Gavin L in the building. Big up views and sub. Big yourself up. His link is in the title. Just click on that. Subscribe to his channel. Show him some love. So, firstly, man, I just usually like to ask my guests about their first exposure to the club. Kind of what got you into Arsenal, and then maybe like a good and a bad memory from like your early time support up, my bro.
I'd say obviously I got into the club when I was through my dad and my uncle. Do you know what I mean? They used to live in North in Angel, Islington. Do you know what I mean? Back when the rush of Moroccans went to North London and Northwest. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah,
they moved over there and obviously ended up supporting Arsenal. So that just came down the generation. Do you know what I mean? I ended up supporting Arsenal as well. In regards to memories, listen, I'm gonna start off with the veggies first and get the bad one out of the way. My first ever away day, man. The first away day, official away day that I done. Me and my dad went all the way to Manchester. Do you know what I mean?
damn,
Sat in
damn.
the stands and had to sit there and endure 8 goals and us only scoring 2, broski.
Never.
The first away day I ever went to, man.
Oh my days.
Bro, I was close to tears, man.
I'd
I
be
was
close.
close to tears, bro. I
Oh
was close
my
to tears, man.
god. I can't believe that was your first away game. That is monumental,
Yeah,
bro. No one's ever
first
told me
away
that.
game, bro.
No one's ever told me that. Sorry,
Uh,
continue, man.
I've been through hardships, man. I've been through hardships, but I'd say I'd say for me, my greatest or my best experience so far. The thing is, I was young when we were doing the Invincibles. I was young when we won the Invincibles. Like, yeah, it was great, but it was never at that level where, do you know what I mean? I'm a grown man and I
Yeah,
can see that. But I think
yeah.
maturing, I'd probably have to say because of who we beat to get there, I'd have to say the FA Cup under Mikel Arteta because
Right.
listen, they're all FA Cups. Do you know what I
Mm.
mean? We beat Hull. Do you know what I mean? But some of the best times I've seen though, do you know what I mean? I mean, we've seen Alexis Sanchez cooking,
Okay.
Robin Van Pagan cooking. Do you know what I mean? Fabregas,
Mm,
bro, Jack Wilshere. Like, do you know what I
mm,
mean? Listen, I've seen Barcelona and Arsenal and Barcelona, prime Barcelona, were popping the ball around them like they ain't even there. Do you know what I mean? So there's definitely been good times, but I feel
right.
like a trophy at the end of it has to be one of the best times. Obviously, I could
Mm.
speak about the 2016 when Welbeck scored that header, and I thought we were gonna win the league. Do you know what I mean,
Well, yeah, yeah.
bro? Do you know what I mean? There's too many moments, bro. But yeah, the worst one is there. The worst one is definitely that's got
Mm.
its own spot, bro.
Oh,
Nothing can get worse than that, bro.
mm,
Nothing can get worse than that.
mm,
But
mm.
yeah, man, it just, bro. There's been too much that's been happening. But listen, man, we stay through. Do you know what I mean? Loyal to the end to this club.
Hey,
No matter what
hey.
happens, bro. No matter what happens, we're shit. We're good. I don't even know if I should swear, but we're
It's a safe space where you can do whatever you want, bro.
do you know what I mean, bro? It's just, bro. It's one of them ones, bro, where you stick by the club. Do you know what I mean? You just hope one day we get our head screwed on right. Do you know what I mean? And it can end up us happening good, man.
Well, first and foremost, man, just for that 8-2, let's give you the clap. Just for that. Just for that alone. And when I say the clap, it's the sound effect, there's no STDs. We got the assembled. You're saying Gavin, big yourself up. E. Ross, he said we condone swearing when it comes to Arsenal. It's a safe space over here. It's a safe space over here. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, no, big up for that, man. I can't believe that. Like I said, no one's ever told me that. Like when I asked for worst memories, like, yeah, some people have said, oh, but it's never their first, your first away game, and that's what you had to, bro. That is absolutely crazy. Big up BBK. It's the hope that kills us. It really does. It really does. So well, here we are, man. I mean, 2025. In your opinion, my guy, what's your opinion on the club? Where do you think we are currently? What do you think our goals should be?
Our goal should be to win a league title. Our goal should be to win a Champions League. I think we've got a decent squad to do it. Obviously, the attack needs a bit of work. That's the main thing for me. The attack has been neglected for years. And we focused on a brilliant defense. We focused on a decent midfield, but we've never fully focused on getting that attack sorted. It seems like that's going to be fixed this season or this summer, but is it a little too late for me? Do you know what I mean? So I just feel like, above all, obviously, we are in somewhat of a stagnation / regression. Well, it's actually a regression. Last season was a regression.
Yeah.
I don't care if we got to the semi-finals. Like, it's a regression at the end of the day. And for me, it's important when you have something, you always have to build on it. There is no going back. Unless the only way we can warrant a stagnation or a little bit of a regression is if you've won trophies along the way, if you've won a major, then we could say, you know what? We lessened the points. We had a bit of an off season. It's cool though. We've won, so we at least we can sit there and we could be like, yeah, well, listen, we go again next season and just back the manager and back the club. But bro, to be to be stagnated and regressing after you ain't won nothing. Like yeah, he won the FA Cup in his first season, but like, do you know what I mean? You ain't won nothing since then. Like it's mad. So I think right now where we are as a club is we need to get strikers, we need to get left wingers, we need to get attackers to help out in that attack, because it's been Saka for a portion of the season, it was Havertz somehow. Mikel Merino this season for a portion of the season was carrying us through games and being able to score goals out of nothing. Do you know what I mean? So I feel like all of this stuff that's happening, it's mad how we got to this situation. And listen, I think we've got two of the best defenders in the league. Obviously, debatable. Obviously, Van Dijk is most probably the best defender in the league, but they're close up behind him. And we've got amazing young talent at left back. We got an amazing young talent at right back. We got very good midfielders in Rice and Thomas Partey. Obviously, listen, the fan base is split. I still back Martin Odegaard. You know what I mean? That's a soft spot. I know that I'm in the minority there because I know everybody doesn't rate him, but I still think he's an amazing player. We've got on his day, of course, not what we were seeing this season, because what we were seeing this season was a disgrace.
That's fair.
Saka on the right, but we need that striker. We need that left winger. We need somebody else to come in when Odegaard's not having a bad Odegaard's having a bad game. Do you know what I mean? We need attacking talent in this club. Somebody that's attacking minded, and on top of that all, then comes to the manager,
right?
And how defensive he's gotten over the last couple of years.
Okay,
you know what I mean? So I can be. Do you know what I mean? Some people may say, "Oh, I'm a happy clapper." Some people may say I'm too positive, but I feel like I'm balanced because I can give criticism, but I can also like gas up certain things. But I just feel like now we're going into a season where I don't know if I have any confidence, even if we get the players. Obviously, I'll have a bit of the the excitement after a transfer window. You always get the excitement after the transfer window. Oh, you know
Course.
what? Might you actually be able to do something this season?
Right.
But then harsh reality hits, bro. Do you know what I mean? And
Right. Right.
I don't know how I don't know how the manager's gonna handle these players that are explosive and attack.
Jeez.
Do you know what
We're
I mean?
gonna get into that. We're gonna get into that. We're gonna get into that. So first, I'm just gonna get through these questions. I'll get through to the chat because I like to have general involvement with the chat as well. But we're gonna do Harry Potter real quickly, man. If you could change 3 things at the club, my guy, what would they be? 3 things that you could immediately change. It could be management, players, attitude. I mean, 3 things that you think is kind of like at the forefront that need to change at this point in time for the club, bro.
First thing is the manager, in my opinion.
Bing.
I think he's reached the end of his time, personally, for me.
Mhm.
Second thing I'd say is the play style. I think we need to be more attacking. We need to focus on attack first.
Mm.
You can find a perfect balance within the team where the attackers can do their role and they ain't got to overly defend and come back and then help out. But you can also have we have a good enough defense for it to be able to handle itself on a fast break. We
Right.
do have a good enough defense to handle itself. Also, the third thing I'd say I'd change is the striker situation in the attack, because I think it needs a complete rehaul. Those are the most important things for me at the moment to change. I guess you could say that the manager and the tactics are technically the same thing. So I'll probably have to give you one more. If I was to give you one more,
Go on then.
I'd say the mentality of the fan base to a certain degree, because there are still a lot of people who I think positivity is a bit too rife in this fan base to a point where it just, do you know what I mean? It blinds people.
Yeah.
It blinds people. I've had arguments with people where they can't even explain to me why they're excited and why he's going to win next season. They can't give me they can't give me any logic behind it. They just say, "Oh, look what he's done in the last." Like, do you know what I mean? So I think those are the things that I'll probably change.
Yeah.
But there's still a lot of good things that are at the club at the moment, of course, from what I've brought up.
Of course, man.
But I mean, ignore the
Don't worry, I got the same things going on.
Ice cream machine just going mad.
Always, these men are got to eat as well, you know. So it's content, but definitely owe the air horn for that. Big up BBK, said we sign more goalkeepers than strikers. Our attack is in dire need. Yeah, I think Sad just basically said the same thing. The assembled said our goal should be to be a football club, not a jack of all trades. As you know, it leads to a master of none. Yeah, I think that's a good point. Big up, it's me, Everest. Welcome on in, bro. Big yourself up. Hit the likes on the way in and way out. Make sure you're subscribing to Side as well. Show him some love. I'm sure you all know who he is. The Assemble saying Virgil van Dijk might be the best CB, but Gabriel and Saliba are the best partnership. They are overall. This year, we haven't seen it as much. I understand that, and obviously we can get into more of that later. But yeah, I feel like as a partnership, you know, they are the best, in my opinion. Gavin L saying, evening, it's me, Everest. Big yourself up. The Assemble saying Arteta kept his promise of changing the style. Yeah, and I mean, he might change it again next season, which I'm worried about. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, my next question to you is obviously about the manager, about the realistic expectations, and whether you feel like he's the guy to kind of bring us forward. Obviously, you've kind of said you change him, so I know that. But, you know, he is going to stay here, my bro, at least next season anyway. So what is the realistic expectations? I mean, do you feel like the club will get rid of him if you don't meet them as well? So what's his realistic expectations next season? And do you think the club will push the button?
The realistic expectations for what I think will happen, I think we may be able to get a cup, maybe.
Right.
Like an FA Cup or a League Cup or something like that.
Right.
But I don't know if we're going to be able to... I don't know if we're going to be able to win the league. Possibly we could do something in the Champions League if we have a bit more star power, because I think the Champions League is a bit different. Do you know what I mean? It is a knockout competition, so there is a likelihood that you could get far. We got far this season, and we had half the attack and or most of the attack injured, and some of the defense. Do you know what I mean? Gabriel missing, but we still managed to get past Real Madrid, still managed to get past these teams. So, but the thing is, for me, obviously, I've explained to you, I don't think he's the man going
Yeah.
forward. There's simple reasoning for that. I think his decision making in games is odd in regards to when he makes substitutions, how long he takes until he makes substitutions. I think when you look at a manager and you look at how they're able to affect games, I think he's done stuff that's good, that has affected games positively, but it's not consistent enough. Sometimes he'll just sit and be stubborn on his decision and until it works, which is something that you just can't do. You can't do that. Like as stubborn as you are, you can't be as that stubborn in this game. And personally for me, if I had my way, I'd want him gone. But at the moment, this is a situation that we fall into, is where he is going to stay. I believe they'll let him see out his contract, which is until 2027. So this ain't even the last year. I think that they're going to keep him until 2027. Yeah, broski. Until even if you don't win, I still think they're going to. He's got 15 mil, bro. On his.
He's not going to let go of it. I know that much. But
100% he isn't, and the club ain't gonna wanna ship him 15 mil just to get rid of him. Do you know what I mean? So, I can see him doing this same kind of stuff. I don't see him improving. I don't see him learning. Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like time is done now. Time is done, man. Time is done. And for me personally, he's just shown that he isn't ready for the top level to get over the line and win trophies, in my personal opinion.
Right.
I think he can handle the top level, but there's a difference to actually winning the trophy. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you can be amongst the pack, but to be the one that rises up.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I totally agree, man. I totally agree. I mean, so and obviously you said you think he's going to be here till the end of his contract. So even if he doesn't win anything next season again, you feel like the board just, they won't press the button? Because some people are saying, you know, he's got until Christmas. The media is starting to say that now, but I think he'll at least get the whole season. But I think if you don't win anything next season, not even a domestic cup, then maybe the pressure will be on. But I mean, obviously you feel like, no, he's going to be, and because we know he ain't going to let go of 15.6, but the club, what do you, I mean, do you think they would do it?
I think that they've backed him a bit too much, where, do you know what I mean? They've gone all in. They've backed him to the hills and back. I just don't feel like they can turn their back away from him until he leaves. Right. Do you know what I mean? I feel like they're in a situation now where they have to wait out this contract. They have to see, and I don't see an extension for him. I don't see them extending yet because they want to see what happens, of course, as you do anyway, because you can only go so far without winning. Like, even for our standards, like as a football club, even for the hierarchy standards, do you know what I mean? But they have backed him way too much. So I feel like we'll probably see him go next season. And listen, if he wins the league, I'm going to be ecstatic. But at the moment, I'm Arteta out. I think that he must leave. And that's not going to change until he is able to prove me wrong. I'm not one of these guys that's going to be reactionary, or I'm not one of these guys that was screaming Arteta out, or even I wasn't hating on the guy from when he first came in. Do you know what I mean? I was giving him a chance. He showed me that he can challenge for the title. He showed me that he can build a title winning squad, but was never able to get over the line. So in my personal opinion, I think, bro, if you get all the way up to that high and you still can't get over the line, even though you had certain moments, the Aston Villa moment, where he puts Havertz back into the midfield for some weird reason. I don't know what compels a man to do that. I genuinely don't know what compels a man to do that, bro. When Havertz is actually killing it for somehow killing it and scoring goal after goal after goal, doing very well at striker, why would you move him back into the midfield and he stunk it up the first half of the season. No idea why he done that.
Yep.
And it's just weird things like that. And that's where stubbornness comes from, because he brought him in originally to be a midfielder.
Yeah.
So that's where the stubbornness comes from. He almost dies on his own sword, bro.
He's gonna. He's
You know what I
definitely gonna die on that Havertz sword. That is 100%, bro. He's gonna die on it, because even I'm hearing whispers that, you know, he's still gonna be featuring heavily next season, you know, even if we do get a striker and stuff like that. So I wonder what he's going to do. I wonder what he is going to do. Big up the assembled. He's saying, do you think it's encouraging the manager to continually do as he wishes with the team style and the transfers? Well, this is what I was going to kind of segue onto, because I did want to ask you about Bert. I don't call him his full name anymore. I was calling him Montgomery, but I thought he was going to release the hounds. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah, like boom, 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 yalla, like boom, quick, like release the hounds, bro. But no, you know, we've seen the struggle between Gyökeres and Sesko, and the club just continually on this Sesko bandwagon. And we'll talk about the players individually in a minute.
Of course.
I want to just talk about, because I thought that was the signal for change, my bro. I thought that was the signal for change, and so far it seems like again Arteta's winning that battle. You know, what did you think about Bert and what he's here to do, and you know, what's your kind of general impressions of all of that, bro?
I mean, at first I was excited to get a new sporting director, somebody who'd had experience in the game. For me, I haven't really made my mind up on him yet.
This guy Dio, bro. You still gonna
yeah, I'll be real. For me, I haven't fully made my mind up on him yet, because I said I'm gonna give him this whole summer. When the season starts, transfer window closes, that's when I'm gonna rate Berta.
Right.
That's when I'm gonna sit there and be like, yeah, you know what, Berta did this good, but then he done this bad. Let me see how he done in this transfer window. Do you know what I mean? I think the way he handles this guy Dio,
this guy, bro. Of course you've seen him on our hour. Of course you have, bro. Of course you have. That's the whole point, bro. Big man out here, bro. But big up Dio, man. Sorry, I was interrupting your flow.
No, it's all good. But I feel like for me, I have to wait and see what he does, because it's all great me getting angry right now, but then we're hearing all sorts of news today. Do you know what I mean? Coming out about Gyökeres and all this kind of stuff. So, do you know what I mean?
But what did you hear? Because I watched Fabrizio's bloody video, and he's still talking about Man United, like calling. So, well, no, I mean the president. I heard that the president's kind of up the price.
Let me just get it up, because
no worries.
Get it up, because I saw this bit of news, obviously coming out of CNN Portugal, because I saved it to my bookmarks, because I was like, yeah, we might need to speak about this,
right?
But obviously in the bookmarks, it's come out that CNN Portugal have said that apparently we're in talks with his agents. There's a meeting, the talks are formal stages, but they're saying that Gyökeres wants to join Arsenal, so at least, you know, we're talking to him. So clearly a decision hasn't been fully made. Maybe all of this talks are advancing with
Sesko.
With Sesko. Maybe it is true that they haven't made a decision yet. Maybe it is true that they are only, you know, just trying to look at both strikers and then make a decision after they understand
I'm praying, bro.
Situation. Bro, I'm praying as well, man. Every day I pray, bro. Every day I pray, I'm making dua, bro. That happens.
Hey, in this dunya, hey, bro, let me tell you, yeah, because like I feel like I call it the upside down side. Like I call it the upside down. Like I don't know if you've seen the Stranger Things.
Yeah, I have seen Stranger Things. Bro. You know what I mean? Upside down, bro.
Like we got Spurs winning European majors and that into the champs after their worst season ever. Like, you know what I mean? We can't win to save our life, even though we got a dog called it. You know, I'm seeing Man United, they were meant to have no money. They ain't got no Champions League, but they're getting all of our targets, bro. You know what I mean? So I'm just like, please, man, anything. Lord, please, anything, bro. And I'm hearing about Al Hilal coming in for Sesko as well. I'm like, yo, Chelsea, Liverpool, whoever wants to do it. And let me just make this clear as well, because Dio always seems to call it Sesko slander. I actually don't think the guy's a bad player, right? I just feel that he's Arteta's trying to get him at a time where the club needs more. Like, we need a statement, especially after you're seeing Wirtz go to Liverpool, Marmoush and Cherky and all this other stuff going to City. So what do you think about the actual situation? Is there a striker you prefer? Is there reasons behind it? You know, what do you think of Sesko as well as a player, bro?
Listen, I agree with you. I don't think Sesko's a bad player. I think he's got height on his side. And he's very accurate with his headers. Do you know what I mean? His movement's good in the box. He's pacey. Do you know what I mean? He has a little pass on him as well. But I still think he's raw around the edges, man. I think he's a raw player. It's very similar to you. Where I don't think that he's ready to just come in and score 20 to 25 goals in a season in the Premier League. Forget about all in the Premier League.
Right.
20 to 25. I don't think he's ready for that. I don't think he's got the ability to do that yet. And he's probably going to grow to do that. He's probably going to grow as a player and end up being Gyökeres levels, possibly. We don't know. It's 50-50. Do you know what I mean? What can happen? You're always getting these young players, and they could go. It could be a madness where they turn out to be freaking something crazy like a Wayne Rooney, or they could end up being, you know what I mean, miskin. Well, like, it's like, do you know what I mean? So it's one of them ones. But I feel like with Sesko, I can see that he's got something. Do you know what I mean? He's got some stuff in his game where you look at it and you're like, yeah, I can see why he's rated.
Right.
I can see the prospect in him. I can see the future of him. It could possibly be bright. But the main problem for me is that it's not a now player. We are in a situation where we need to win now, bro. There is no wait for 2 years and see what happens. There's none of that, bro. You need a striker that's gonna. If you wanted Sesko, you'd have brought him in 2 years ago, bro, and said, "Yeah, it's all good. We're gonna sit on him," and then we're just.
Facts. I would have took him in January with open arms. We were starving. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but that's bro. I would have taken Chris Wood, bro.
Facts. When they were talking about Watkins, I was thinking, "Raw, that's someone I didn't actually think about." But he ticks all the boxes. You know, he scores regular. He's Premier League proven. He's of the age now where you don't have to put an arm around him. You can kind of expect him to do something, and that's where I feel like we're at. You know, 3 years in a row finishing second. Do you know what I mean? And especially this year, the regression I feel was evident. Berta's coming in, you know, Mikel Arteta's talking about goosebumps and all this kind of stuff. So I'm thinking, yes, he's going to come and release the hounds. And so far, bro, it's like Mikel Arteta's winning that battle. And it's just bloody, for me, it's annoying, but we'll get into it a little bit more. The Assembled saying, what's the difference between stubborn and lack of common sense? Well, someone needs to ask Arteta that. Big up Jordan Hyman. Big yourself up, bro. You never walk alone. 23 people in the building. Like the video. Make sure you're subbing to side. Just click the link in the title. Everyone show some love, please, guys. I'm sure you know who this is. Jogger Benito. Big yourself up, man. What's going on, views? Nice to have you on earlier on. Big up Dia. I think he's getting an extension. Who we talking about? Gyökeres. Oh no,
Lord. Talk about Arteta.
Oh, Arteta.
That's why I said in my thing, I don't think he's getting an extension, because I saw that Dio put it in the chat.
Right. I'm getting scared, bro. Don't do that, bro. I'm about to faint on the stream, bro. Don't do that. Extension, allow it. I'm not even gonna read that one. Big up Dio though. Big up Jogger again. He said the time the Cronkies push the button is when it hurts them financially, not getting Champions League. I mean, I might as well ask you about that quickly. I mean, do you think that's what it's gonna take if we was to drop out of? I mean, because I don't know if it's gonna be top 5 next season, my bro. So I don't know. I mean, if we drop out of the top 4, it might be top 5. Do you think that's what it's gonna take?
Yeah, I think if that happens, then he will get sacked. I think if he drops out of the top 5, then definitely he will get sacked, because that will send alarm bells ringing through their head. Do you know what I mean? The higher ups, and they won't have belief.
Yeah,
they won't. The belief will just go out the window with the top 4. Yeah, the money as well, of course. Like there's multiple factors to it, bro. But I think if he doesn't get top 4, which I can't believe we're in a situation where we're saying like, bro, we might not get top 4. Like, that's crazy
That's
to think
wild,
about,
isn't it?
bro.
Yeah,
It's wild from where we were to
yeah,
now where we're not even looking forward to the season. Do you know what I mean? If shit hits the fan, bro.
yeah,
So
yeah, bro.
I feel like that could possibly be something that happens, but I still think he has enough
Mm,
and he's good enough to get third. I don't
mm,
think anybody else in the league is better than us.
right. Because I was gonna
Apart from
segue. I was gonna segue and just ask you, like, if we don't have the summer that we need, where do you see us? Because I think it's gonna be like a top 4 battle next season if we don't get the pieces that we need going into the new season, bro.
I think we'll get a striker. I think we'll get a left winger. Um, in my personal opinion, and if we're able to get that, I think we could. I still think we're the third best team in the league. In my personal opinion, I don't think there's apart from Man City and Liverpool, there's not better teams out there than us. There isn't. Like, no
Mm,
matter what happens, we're still a very good outfit, especially with everyone fit, all of that good stuff. But then you look at it and you're like, is there the consistency there? How are these players starting to lose their consistency?
right.
Are they starting to drop a level?
Mm,
That can't run.
mm,
That's when a manager needs to rip into the players and say, you don't drop that level. That
right.
level that you were at, that level has to be consistent every single season. Churn it out.
Mm,
I don't
mm,
care what's happening. Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
If you're dealing with personal shit, tell me and I'll take you out the starting 11. You won't come to games.
Yeah.
Just deal with your personal stuff. Do you know what I
Right.
mean? We can talk about it. Of course, he's got to be to a certain degree. He's got to be, and you saying Chelsea's right behind. I still don't think Chelsea have got the consistency that we've got. There's too many. There's too many with Chelsea. They've got what we've got, but on the other side, their defense is dreadful. Their goalkeeper's dreadful. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, I just personally I don't think it's gonna happen, but I think we get third. Even if it doesn't go our way and we don't get the right targets, I still think we get third.
Right. Right. Okay. I mean, that's fair. That's fair. For me, I know I was gonna obviously get to this question
Yeah,
towards the end of my questions, but we might as well segue into it because you basically spoke about it a little bit. I was just gonna ask you kind of what do you think of the rivals? I mean, because the summer, we've already seen Chelsea kind of fumble the bag a little bit with Mainan and players that they're trying to go for. Man United with some of their signings, with Newcastle going to be unleashed. I mean, are you worried about do you feel like we're going to stand still and everyone else is going to move forward a little bit?
depends on what we do.
Mm,
I think we all stand if we get Sesko, there is still a chance that he could do something. Of course, it's not completely out the realm of possibility. Do you know what I mean? We've seen strikers that have not necessarily had good numbers, but come in here and smash it.
mm,
But it's a 50-50. Do you know what I mean? And
right.
whether they get a Rodrigo, I think the three players that they're looking at on the left wing is Rodrigo, Nico Williams, and Rafael Leao. So
Mhm.
either one of those three, if we get either one of those three, then we're looking good. Do you know what I mean? Either way. So I think it will be a slight move forward in regards to our attack, but the teams are like rapidly approaching us. Do you know what I mean? The
They are.
teams are rapidly approaching us. I don't fear Chelsea. I fear Newcastle more than I fear Chelsea. I fear these types of teams, bro, because
Mm,
those types of teams will build on it. Do you know what I
mm,
mean? Newcastle are gonna build on it. Newcastle have already got their world-class striker. They've got a very good winger in Anthony Gordon. They're looking to get somebody on the right wing. They've
mm,
got a very good midfield in Joelinton, Bruno Gomes, and
mm,
Tonali. Do you know
mm,
what I mean? The
mm.
defense needs a bit of work, but apparently they're looking at Mark Gahey.
Yep.
And
Yep.
do you know what I mean? And they're looking at players on the right wing. Excuse me. So you just have to look at it, yeah, and you have to look at the way that they're moving. They're moving rapid, bro. Their ownership is just waiting for this. This is their plan, is to just get Champions League consistently. They don't even need to win the league. They don't need to do this. They don't need to do that. They just need to get Champions League consistently and build that revenue year by year. Eventually, bro, they're going to be competing for players for us. With us, bro, and paying the same amount of funds as us, paying the same wages as us. Do you know
Maybe even more. Because I feel like this summer they could actually be unleashed, because obviously they've been following PSR and everything. They've been following the rules, but now I think they finally get to do something. So it's going to be interesting. You know, definitely Isak ain't going nowhere. We definitely know that. And why would he at this point? Big up. There's a question here from the assembled. It said, views. I'll ask you the same. What do you believe Arsenal are going to win? I'm just waiting for the transfer window to close. Arsenal weren't even close to three title races that were harder to lose than win. Well, first of all, big yourself up, bro. What do I think Arsenal's going to win? I think all we can really do next season is try and attack those domestic cups. That's what I can say now. Obviously, it depends on what type of window we have. As Saad said, if we get like a Rodrigo or someone like that, someone who can really light it up. I mean, I don't believe we're going to be fair. Why would Xabi Alonso not want him? So I don't know. I don't think we're going to. Obviously, we'll ask Saad about some transfer stuff in the near future. But yeah, I think the domestic cups, he has to try and take it seriously. Is that enough for him to stay? In my opinion, no. Maybe if he does a cup double. But yeah, realistically, if we end up with Sesko, you know, say we do get Zubimendi across the line, and then we don't really kind of kick on from there, and it's just kind of like, you know, kind of B-Tech signings, then I feel like saying the domestic cups is the only thing we can actually go for. I mean, what do you think, bro?
I agree, man. I think we'll get a domestic cup, FA Cup, League Cup, but I think the league is. I don't know if we're going to be able to get the league, especially with the teams in there at the moment that are fighting for it with us. I don't think that we're going to get that. The Champions League, listen, I'll always say this. I think there's a chance for the Champions League, as funny as it sounds. Even under Mikel Arteta, I think there's still a chance for the Champions League. Do you know what I mean?
You know why it's not funny? Sorry if I just cut in before.
No, go ahead, bro.
Do you know what's not funny? Do you know why it's not funny? I should say, because year before last year, it was the quarters. This year it was the semis. So next year, if we're talking about progress, then we can only expect the final, right? Mm-hmm. So So when you're saying, you know, to win it, it's a cup competition. I know, obviously, we've never done it and all the rest of it, but when you look at it like that, it's not really funny to say that. And I was going to ask you what our realistic Champions League hopes were as well. So you might as well kind of.
I mean, the hopes for us in the Champions League, dependent on what teams are doing around the world as well. Like, it's going to be so much harder next season. You got Bayern Munich that are only getting better and better, signing better players. You've got Real Madrid who have signed a new manager, so that's going to be even more difficult. Do you know what I mean? And by the way, when we get to the transfers bit, we need to discuss about Real Madrid, because there was breaking news about that yesterday.
Breaking news, yes.
There was about Rodrigo, mate. So
okay,
but in regards to our Champions League hopes, I can hope for a final. I don't know if it's going to be as easy as it was this year. I think we're going to be as lucky as we were this year. Which, listen, actually saying lucky is a bit of a disrespect, because I think we earned our right to win that game against Real Madrid. We outclassed them on every blade of grass on that pitch. Do you know what I mean? On both pitches. Like, we earned our right to win that game. Do you know what I mean? Because we did outclass them. But bro, it's I really think our realistic the most realistic thing that will win, in my personal opinion, I'd say, is the cups. Maybe we can go on a decent Champions League run to try and get to the final. Do you know what I mean? Maybe.
Yeah, no, I totally agree, bro. And thing is, yeah, I don't, but I think it's gonna get harder, of course, because every team is always progressing. You know, PSG after winning it this year, probably going to be a different animal next year. You know, it's going to be harder. But like I said, just going off of that logic, and you keep wanting to go forward, then it only has to be the final next. I was really upset with because I done the game, like put all the kind of bags down and help with the fireworks and that kind of stuff for the Real Madrid Arsenal game at the Emirates, and then we was meant to get the job after. Yeah, for the semis, but obviously there was nothing penciled in. So I'm like, what? The club don't even believe we're gonna go through. Do you know what I mean? So I kind of feel like we kind of peaked at that Madrid game, and we were so flat against PSG, man. I was really upset with that. Do you know what I mean? And then in the second leg, we were just knackered because all of our players played best part of a whole game, and their whole squad was rested. So, I mean that's annoying in itself. We might as well get into some transfer stuff. Why not saying here number 29 versus Aston Villa, and the same with Moreno in the PSG game. Awful midfielders put up front where they performed, then left field put back in the midfield where they stink. Yeah, I mean this is what Arteta does. And big up Why Not each and every time. Bigging up Views and Sard. Big yourself up, my guy. Make sure you guys are subscribing to my guest and showing love, Dio. You know what I mean? Because Dio's on one today on this.
Me and Dio got beef already.
Yeah, bro, trolling, bro.
Dio, broski.
Dio, bro. Berto's only here to get Arteta his targets. I'm not sure what to judge him on other than the links getting over the line. It's hard. It's a hard one at the moment. I don't want to put all my hopes on him, but at the moment, I'm not seeing too much. Do you know what I mean? I thought I'd see a little bit more. And also, bro, I mean, did you hear about Trossard being offered more money but no extra time?
Bro, I didn't hear about that.
Bro, I mean, I don't think it's happening. I hope it's not bloody.
How does that work? What, just more money?
Just more money?
No extra year.
No.
What is this, man?
What is it? You understand what I'm saying? So it's just that when I'm hearing Ronald McDonald business like this, I'm like, well, Berta can't be changing much. When I'm hearing that we're extending Lokonga, even though we can't actually get rid of him, we loan him out, the club send him back. There's no one that's coming to buy him. But I know what I'm gonna do. Let's put another year onto his contract. Like, how does that make any sense, my bro?
It's a joke. Stuff like that is a joke, bro.
Ronald McDonald. Dio saying I don't expect any Mudryk fumble. Hey, bro, let's not talk anything into existence like that. Big up J Dub. He's saying big up lads. Also Arteta out. Yeah, man. I can't argue with you too much on that. Why not's bigging up everyone? J Dub saying if he wants to join, but Arteta don't want him. I might be talking about Gyökeres, I'm not sure. And then he's saying, don't trust these Gyökeres things. The news outlets are getting free clicks from our fan base. What do you think about that, man? Because obviously you kind of want to look to these ITKs for some information because we get nothing from the club. Like, what do you think? Do you think it's all just a circus? Do you think there's any of it that's true? Or
I think the thing is, here's the thing, yeah. From what we heard, because I spoke to my friend who's an Atletico Madrid fan. Do you know what I mean? And also, like, we hear stuff from before he was gonna come. Like, this is the way Andrea Berta does his negotiating, where he'll just throw hella shit at the wall, and then, like, do you know what I mean? He might just throw like hella news stories to everybody and anybody, bro, and tell them put this out, put this out, put this out, put this out. But that makes it so it becomes a circus, so you don't know what's going on until bang, they hit you with the ball, they hit you with the this is happening, this has been agreed, or something like that. So I feel like this right now it is a circus. There is so much going on, but because I've been told already that this is how he does his business, this is how he does his negotiating.
Karma.
I'm not as like, oh my god, what's happening? What's this? Right. Why are we linked to this guy? Why are we linked to this guy?
Right.
Because we've been told that he does this, bro. He does this on purpose because he wants to make sure that no clubs know truly who he's going for. Do you know what I mean? Nobody truly knows if he's going for Sesko or Gyökeres, because we hear one day that Sesko is the main target and this and that, and then we hear Gyökeres is now advanced and we're talking to people and all of this. Like, do you know what I mean? It's And weird stuff about the Trossard stuff. Like it's just like, bro, I don't know what's going on, man. You know what I mean? Are we talking about giving Trossard a new deal and talking about keeping Martinelli and these men want to get another left winger? I don't know what's going on, bro.
What's like make it make sense? This is what I'm trying to say, and that's the whole point. So just what you said kind of correlates with that. Nothing makes sense, so everyone's confused, and even me, I'm kind of losing my head. I'm resigned, like I want us to do something, and especially when I see Turkey. I mean, 35, 36 million euros, not even Great British pounds, bro, euros, and we're not even sniffing around him, you know.
Insane, bro.
Because I was going to ask you, bro, just before kind of I move on to some of the comments, and please be patient. 24 in the house, hit the like, sub to Sad. Don't be pagans. Show some love, people. Big up all my viewers. You know it's love each and every time. Big up Binks. Bigging up the panel and chat. Big yourself up, man. Thank you for passing through. That's what I was going to ask you, kind of from who's out there, because obviously we all get what the media want. But if I'm asking Sad, I'm asking you, my guy. Like, you know, we can get like 3 pieces, realistic pieces. What do you think those are, my guy?
Right now, the three pieces that we can get, or are you giving me the keys to the club and you're saying what would you, or 3 players that you would sign for the club?
Yeah, that's out there now on the market that you think is realistic. 3 pieces that you think is obviously going to push us on again next season.
Left wing, if Rodrigo wants to leave, then get Rodrigo. If Rodrigo's not leaving, he's staying at the club, then go and get Ademola Lookman. Striker, Gyökeres. To be honest, if we're serious and we really want to put the money down, that is what will get people excited about Sesko, is getting Gyökeres and Sesko. Just clear the whole thing, get both of them. Just get both of them, clear the whole thing out. Do you know what I mean? 70 million, 140. You're spending that Isak money on 2 strikers, one that is up and coming, and one that is now. Do you know what I mean? So you got the guy when Gyökeres gets to like freaking 30, 31, 32, bro, Sesko's in his prime. Do you know what I mean? Sesko's in his prime, and ready to just go on. And then the third player I would get, but if I am to pick out the one of the 2, I'd go Gyökeres, obviously.
Oh no.
And the third player that I would get is Xavi Simons, bro.
I've asked a few people about this. But people are kind of, I don't know, a little bit unresigned about it. I mean, go on. I mean, explain a little bit why you'd think Xavi Simons, bro. Because I'm saying Eze, but go on.
No, Eze is a very good. Listen, Eze is good because Eze is Premier League proven. Do you know what I mean? Eze is somebody who is Premier League proven and can, can affect the game very well.
Yeah.
But for me, Xavi Simons, just like his ability on the ball, like his shooting, his passing, his reading the game at such a young age. I think if you've got Ødegaard there, that's a player that can be like an understudy, someone who can be playing under Martin Ødegaard and rivaling him for his spot, because he could take over his spot. Do you know what I mean? If he performs well, he could actually become. But the thing is, it just resorts back to the manager. I don't think the manager is willing to give other players a chance. We saw with Ethan this season. Like, do you know what I mean? He's only given a chance when the manager's back is against the wall. You know what I mean? So it's one of those ones where some of these players need to be given a chance. Some of the players that I want to bring in, like the Xavi Simons, I think he can rival Ødegaard, bro. I think he can rival Ødegaard. They can. Do you know what I mean? But there's definitely a situation now where I think that would be probably my perfect window. Is him, Gyökeres, and either Rodrigo if he wants to come, or Ademola Lookman. That's my perfect window. I'd actually, if we signed them players, I'd come out that window saying, you know what? That's an 8, 9 out of 10 window. But
Fairs, man. Do you know what I think as well? Because obviously I do think we need someone in that role, especially because none of our players, Saka included, no one can just be comfortable. They all need competition. I feel like if we are serious about Sesko, why are we not going in for Simons as well? Because obviously they play at the same team. They've been playing together. Do you know what I mean? It'll be easier for both of them to bed in together. So when Dio, funnily enough, has mentioned Simons, I'm like, all right, cool. I don't mind that. Do you know what I mean? Zubamendi, I mean, what do you think about him? For me, I'm not sure. I'm not sure about him. I ain't seen him. I mean, he's like Nico Williams. He looks good for Spain, but when I see him for Sociedad, I'm not too sure, bro. Do you know what I mean? So, I mean, what's your views on Zubamendi? Do you think that's going to go over the line?
I do think it's going to go over the line. I think we've gotten David Ornstein, bro, saying it's all done, signed, ready, signed, sealed, and delivered, bro. Do you know what I mean? Big up to Stevie Wonder, bro. But
Yeah.
yeah, listen, man. I just personally feel like that was never in doubt. Do you know what I mean? You even got like Real Madrid people coming out and saying like they've never been in for a 6, they don't want a 6. So I don't think it's in real issue for us. But like I said, I say this already. You probably see me say it in the chat, bro. But this guy is like, bro, if he got bagged today, bro, they're not giving him bail, bro. This guy is getting put in a cell, bro, and you're staying in that cell. Then you're getting sentenced, broski. You're getting put in that cell, bro. Because he's not getting put on bail. Do you know what I mean? They're not letting him out on tag. This guy is a flight risk, bro. It's a flight risk. Do you know what I mean? So until he's holding the shirt fully, I can never be 100%. I can never be 100% if he's coming or not. But in regards to what player he is, I like him, bro. I like how he's comfortable in certain pressure situations, especially for Spain. Do you know what I mean? You need to be very well versed on the ball. You need to be able to move the ball very well. And I feel like in that Spain team, for him in a final to come in and to just drop that performance when Rodri gets substituted off, and you replace Rodri and you emulate his game perfectly. Like Rodri it did not look like Rodri was missing in that game because he was able to do Rodri type things.
Yeah.
So for me, if you can come and do that at the highest level, playing in the European Championship in the in the Euros final, like, bro, that's a very high level you're playing at, bro. Do you know what I mean? And for him to do that, bro, it's massive. Obviously, I don't watch Real Sociedad as much as I should, but see a couple of games he's looked all right.
Yeah.
But for Spain mostly is where I've seen him, bro, and I think he looks very, very good for Spain in my personal opinion. But maybe you can enlighten me, bro, because you might have watched him even more. Because I don't know, man. I've
done a couple of watch-alongs. Obviously, when United played Sociedad, and I think kind of Casemiro locked him up a little bit, which I was a bit like, I mean, there's a guy that goes on AFTV called Marty. I mean, I'm pretty sure you know who he is. He's sitting there saying, is the Premier League ready for Zubamendi? And I'm just like, well, I don't know, bro. Because he is quite petite, he's quite small. But at the same time, most teams play us, it's low block. So I'm just a bit undecided. For me, good player, especially if he's going to replace Jorginho. But if he's to be the Partey replacement, I'm not too sure, man. I ain't. But we'll have to just wait and see.
That's why they need to keep Partey, bro.
Yeah, we need to. I was going to ask you about that. Yeah, I was going to ask you about that because I think he's on 250, and I don't know whether they're trying to take away the incentives because I think he's 250 with incentives. So I don't know what the deal is with that. I know he wants to stay in London, but yeah, I would definitely keep him. I'm sure that's your view as well. What do you think?
I think on Partey, yeah, what we've heard, even him saying like, do you know what I mean, coming out in the media and saying like, I want what's the best for me and all of that. It sounds like he thinks this is his last like big contract. Do you know what I mean? He thinks this is his last big deal that he can get at the top level before he can go away somewhere and possibly end up in Saudi somewhere. Do you know what I mean? And listen, I think, in my personal opinion, I don't know. I would prefer him being the backup. I would prefer Zubamendi coming in and being the starter, but Partey being used as a backup. But can you warrant more money for a backup? Do you know what I mean? It's definitely a predicament that we're in. If it was up to me, I'd say bun it and just give him the money, bro, because I feel like he's still a very, very good player on his day. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And even having him as somebody who can come on for the likes of Zubimendi, do you know what I mean, or for Declan Rice or whatever. So we don't have
Yeah.
to play Declan Rice on in the 6 anymore, because even when we play Declan Rice in the 6, I've realized that nobody else does their role. Nobody else does their role properly when Declan Rice is at the 6. And he
Okay.
just ends up being a lone 6 at times, and it just it leaves him in just a flood of opposition shirts
Right.
most of the time, bro, and he's just getting run through. Pause. Yeah, I'd say that, bro, because that's a bit
I
mad.
know,
But,
no, I know, but you got it in there. You got it in there. So
do you know
kudos
what
for
I mean? But I feel like party is important. But like Eros said, man, that's the risk is, if he stays, is Arteta even planning to play him at midfield, or is he planning to play him as like
that right back.
a right back, broski? Like,
Oh my god.
don't, man, because I'll start headbutting walls, bro.
Yeah, it's gonna get
These
technical.
man don't act like I'm gonna like. These man don't understand. Like, there's levels to it, bro. Do you know what I mean? There's levels to
Party at right back, bro, is never ever that. And this is what we're talking about, his stubbornness. That's why for me, I point him out as the biggest thing this season. Like, yes, the Cronkies allowed him to come. Yes, they put up with this guy, but they've allowed him to spend money, whether it's their money or not. They've allowed him to spend it. They've allowed him to have power. All of these players are his players. If you don't trust them, then that's your fault. If they're not good enough, then that's your fault. And then when you're doing substitutions like that, one player comes out and we're swapping the whole deck around, bro. It's so frustrating. And then even that game against Liverpool at Anfield at the end of the season, we were 2-0 down. We managed to get back into the game. And then you bring on 2 defenders, bro. Like, why not carry the momentum and try and go and win the game after that? Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just things like that. So I feel like his pragmatism has definitely cost us this season, 100%. J-Dub saying we will get Sesko and let him leave for free in his prime. Maybe typical Arsenal. If we don't get Sesko now, there is no later to get him. He will be Isak money by then. But will he be Isak good by then? This is the whole thing. This is my thing about Sesko. We haven't had a big enough sample size. I don't feel like he's tore the world apart like a Yamal or someone like that. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know, man. I'm just a little bit I'm a little bit checked out on it, to be honest with you. Jogger Benito saying Sesko isn't good enough. Havertz 2.0. Look how good Havertz looked in Germany. We don't learn. He has nothing. I mean, I wouldn't go as far as that.
Havertz 2.0 is crazy. I
wouldn't go as far as that.
Sam says he's another Darwin Núñez. I'm like, you need to relax, bro. Yeah. Some of these men are just going a bit too crazy because he's still a decent player, bro.
Yeah. I'm not gonna say he's the next best thing since sliced bread, but I ain't gonna try and dunk on him completely like that. Like I said earlier, I just think he's in a bad time where he's being courted by Arteta when the Arsenal fans and the fan base need more. The club needs more. Do you know what I'm saying? Big up Isaac L. He said, what do you think of the Gabriel Jesus situation? Well, I'll obviously ask you that in a second. My thoughts on it is obviously we're kind of stuck with him, the same as Havertz. Sad mentioned getting Sesko and Gyökeres, but I mean, that could be possible if we could offload the other 2 strikers, but we can't. Do you know what I mean? And one's a CDM faking to be a striker. But what do you think of Gabriel Jesus? I call him Gabriel James, bro. You know what I mean? Not quite Brazilian. But what's your thoughts on Jesus, bro?
He was Brazilian, man. When before the World Cup injury, bro.
Do you know what I mean?
Injury. I've never seen an injury ruin a player more than that, bro. That guy was on a madness. But yeah, man. Listen, I think with Gabriel Jesus, it's a bit of a weird one because we are stuck with him now. I think they would have sold him this summer. This summer he would have been gone. But we're stuck with him now because he had the injury. Yep. And it depends on how he comes back now. Do you know what I mean? In my personal opinion, if you're going to get a striker, or even if you get 2 strikers, this is your Saka backup. This is the Saka backup. Use him on the right wing, even though you've got Ethan there. I don't think Ethan's good enough to be on the right wing. Yeah. It's not even about being good enough. I don't think that's where you get the best out of his traits, the best out of his stuff. Do you know what I mean? His best attributes. You don't get the best out of them from playing him on the right wing. I think he's better centrally. But when it comes to Jesus, play him on the right wing, bro. Play him as a Saka backup. When you need to rest Saka, play Jesus. Jesus will be able to do a job on that right wing, man. He's still dribble, he can get past the player. He may not be the best finisher, but bro, he can still get past the player and he can still put the ball into a dangerous position for a hopeful striker that we will have at that point to put the ball into the back of the net. Do you know what I mean? So
fingers crossed, man.
but it's just one of them ones, bro.
I hear it. I've always said, I mean, he identifies as a winger anyway. He said he's not a striker, so why not use him there? But there you go. Obviously, the injuries and I mean, obviously, we'd be getting rid of him if we could, but I feel like we're stuck with him at the moment. Big up Ian Wu. Big up all the Liverpool supporters. Hope you're well today, mate. Hope I ain't seen you for a while, so hope you're all good. J Dub saying nearly FC. Yeah. Dio saying what is a now player? Due won the UCL. Now he's 18, right? But players of Yamal and Doué's quality are very much stand out, aren't they? You can't say that Sesko is doing what they're doing. This is the whole point, bro. Come on, Dio, man. I know you got more logic than that, bro. I know you got more logic than that. Yes, these players are young, but they are the anomaly. Yamal's getting touted as as the best player in the world. Him and Dembele. Yeah. So when you're at that level and you're doing the things that he's doing, how what's he got already? Like 100 goals for Barcelona? Are we being serious, Dio? Like that's what defines a now player, bro. Like how good you are on the pitch, bro. Like damn. I mean,
you can say like what is a now player, but I'll give you the perfect example. Yeah, Saka is a now player. Harvey Elliott, who's the same age as him, is not a now player, bro. That's a player that still needs to improve, that still needs to build, and Harvey Elliott still needs to find his game and do you know what I mean? Nail down a spot. Do you know what I mean? That's the difference between it. Like you're not gonna compare a Lamine Yamal to a Harvey Elliott. Do you know what I mean? Because there's differences. Right, also like there's massive differences. It's different leagues, bro. It's different stratospheres, in my personal opinions, bro.
Yeah, no facts.
Do you know what I mean? It's not. It's just one of those ones where you see Doué and you see Lamine Yamal, and they excel over everybody else. You know what I mean? They excel over everybody else because of what they can offer to a game, what they can do, how they are like just surrounded every time they have the ball.
Yeah,
surrounded because they know, and this is why I big up Saka so much. And people say to me, "Oh, why do you use the excuse that he gets double team and triple team?" Because, bro, look at it, bro.
Yeah,
this is like, forget about what you think as a football fan. Just look at what the footballers and what the managers tell their footballers to do.
Yeah.
If managers are telling their players, I need 3 man on this one guy, bro. I need 3 man on him, bro. You're talking about mad levels, bro, of talent. They know that you're a bagsman. They know that you're the respect is crazy for them to take 3 players out of position to just stay on you.
Yeah,
come on, bro. And the same thing happens for Lamine Yamal. The same thing happens for Desiree Doué. The same thing happens for Mohamed Salah. The same thing happens for all of these big players that we talk about. The same thing happens for them, bro. They all get double teamed and triple teamed. It's about what you can do in that position, of course. But there's a respect there, bro. These players are just in a different caliber to certain other wingers, bro, and certain other players. Do you know what I mean?
The air horn, and I couldn't have said it better myself. Big up the assembled. So Arsenal signing Mark Hateley. When we bring Seska, in my opinion, Arsenal are going to play long ball set piece football. I mean, it kind of suggests that. I mean, for a guy that of his height, he's got very good feet. I will give him that, but it kind of suggests it. It kind of suggests it a little bit, bro. It really does. He said we were about to pay 100 million for Mudryk because obviously his last comment was just pay the money for Rodrigo. Did you have some news on that, bro?
Yeah. So apparently, because I looked at this yesterday. Yeah, I saw it come up. Yes, I think it was yesterday, or was it today? Let me just bring it up. It was yesterday. So El Larguero or Laguero, I think, which is a Spanish outlet out there, bro. I looked at their account, bro. They got like nearly 300k followers. Do you know what I mean? They're an actual reporting outlet for Spain, and they came out yesterday
Yeah.
and was word for word. They said Javi Alonso's 11 at Real Madrid for the start of the league. Mastan Tuono, Mastan Tuono,
Can't say that.
whoever that guy is that they just
John
signed,
Scott, yeah.
arrives to be a starter. The starting 11 for next season, from what he's planning to do, his starting 11 for next season is going to be Courtois, Trent on the right back position, Hoyson, Rudiger, Carreras, as the left back, Chouameni, Valverde, Master Tuna, whatever his name is, Vinicius, Bellingham, and Mbappe, bro. Do you know what I mean? That's going to be a starting 11. Now, there's a name in there that we're not seeing, bro.
Yeah,
There's
yeah,
a name in there that's not in the starting 11.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
what is going on there, bro? Do you know what I mean? Like,
Ooh. I mean, look, bro.
oh,
Have you ever seen them do that before, though?
what's that?
Like, release their starting 11 for next season.
I think it's because it's a new manager, so that's the
Mm.
reason why they've done it. I think it's
Okay.
because it's all new for Real Madrid fans. That's why it's still done it. I don't know if we can go back to when Carlo arrived, and then we could see what he's going to play next in the next season. Do you know what I mean? I'd have to look back to see if they did that for him. But bro, for them to say that, bro, if they're truly not trying to play. If they're truly not trying to play him, like, do you know what I mean? Then clearly those talks haven't gone well.
Yeah.
And he clearly doesn't want to be there.
Yeah.
Bro, I'm up for it, man.
Yeah.
I'm completely up for that, bro. If he wants to leave, and then we can just,
Especially
you know
if we're getting Sesko, I feel like we're gonna need someone like Rodrigo. Do you know what I mean? For that star power, man, the absolute star power. But look at this, man. Like, we've already hit an hour, and time has just been flying. Obviously, we've been having fun. I ain't even managed to get to all of the comments. Big up everyone that showed some love, man. But obviously, I like to ask my guest about them and their channel and kind of things that they might have going on over there, things that people might be able to look out for. So just give us a little rundown about the football corner, bro.
Listen, we're here, man. Do you know what I mean? 2.4K nearly.
Hey.
Just running, bro. Yeah, man. You know what I mean? We're just 2.4K and still trying to grow, of course. But I do have Friday. We're back again. This week I've kind of taken a week off just because work is getting mad and everything's getting mad. But we got the Cora pod back on Friday, of course, where we're just gonna be all going crazy in there. You've been in there already, you know how it is, man.
Yeah.
Screaming at each other basically. But Cora pod is gonna be going crazy this Friday. Obviously, we're gonna be speaking about all the transfers. It's just transfers that we discuss on there. So we're speaking about that. I might be bringing back the Monday episodes now, where we can start speaking about them on Monday. But I'll have a word with the boys. But apart from that, like, listen, man, it's weird because I was talking to my boy today, yeah, and I was telling him, like, whenever I go on YouTube, like, I was watching some of my old videos the other day, yeah, because I started off with like doing only pre-records. I wasn't doing streams. Do you know what I mean? And I started only on pre-records, and I done pre-records, and I used to look so nervous. Like, even when I first started streaming, I was just so nervous. And now look at when I jump on my streams, and bro, I'm just so comfortable.
Yeah.
Where I start, do you know what I mean? I start cussing out people in the chat. I start going back and forth with some of the followers. Do you know what I mean? There's some of the people that are like visiting my channel and commenting and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? Some of the people that are questioning and stuff like that. So it's just mad how things like change over time. You just end up building the confidence, bro, to just, because I'm not really as loud as I am and as mad as I am on here. I'm normally like I'm not as a loud person unless I'm comfortable with the people that I'm loud with. Do you know what I mean? And I'm not as talkative normally. I'm a bit shy, reserved. It doesn't look like it. You wouldn't tell from how I am on YouTube. You wouldn't think, bro, this guy is not shy. This guy, that, do you know what I mean? It's mad, bro. It's mad. Do you know what I mean? I'm able to come on. I'm able to meet all new people all the time. So bro. Listen, I'm blessed, man. I'm blessed to be able to do this and to be able to do it for however long I'm doing it for. Do you know what I mean? I'm gassed, bro. I'm gassed. It's amazing. Man. It's a
Yeah,
blessing.
definitely, and definitely watch out for the Cora pod. Definitely goes off over there. So you know what I mean. If you're looking for some entertainment, definitely go over there and show him some love. Yeah, man, it's been a pleasure, my bro. Like I said, the time's gone so quick. Really enjoyed our chat. Hopefully we can get to do it again sometime. Make sure you guys subscribe, and like I said, his name is in the description. Click it, subscribe, show him some love. Didn't have to come, but came over and showed some love, and I truly appreciate it, man. Really do. Right, we're just gonna have a quick little look and see who we can throw you over to. Who's live at the minute? Footy Reacts TV. Oh no, we got Normski going live. So let's send you over to Normski. That's the broski. When you go over there, make sure you say views raid. This has been great, man. Under the lens, man. Thank you so much, Ever, for coming through, my guest. I appreciate you so much, bro. You know what I mean?
Love, man. You know it. Listen, you know it. We're always gonna look at Why Not this fraud, bro.
What's he saying?
Piece of work, bro. This fraudulent piece of work, bro. You know. Funny enough, yeah. Just before we go, guys, Why Not was one of the first. He'll confirm. Why Not? Do you remember when he used to be on my streams for the first? He was the only one that was commenting on my stream, just going through everything that we talk about, and just go like, "This is this and this. Why are you doing this? Why are you not chatting about this? Why are you so positive about this?" You just go off on one, bro.
Oh Lord, you got history.
Big up to Why. No. Why Not? Listen, it's all love, bro.
Yeah, of course. History don't have to be bad.
Why Not? Why Not is a ledge, bro. Why Not is a ledge, bro. He's a ledge.
Always over here showing some love. Big up Why Not? Big up Dio, and big up Shane Gooner as well. He was in here, big himself up each and every time. Make sure you're liking and subscribing to his stuff as well. But again, people, nothing but love. Big up Size Football Corner for joining me today. We are going to send you over to Normski, like I said. Views raid when you get over there, and we'll be back for the intervention tomorrow, gang. Peace and love, man. Big up.